Welcome to Smutty Scriptures, the podcast where three best friends gather together to explore the holy texts of fantasy romance novels. I'm Head Priest Blue Cromwell, and I am joined by my sisters in sin, Cuddlefish and Purple Space Cat, to tell you all about our thoughts on this episode's sacred text. We have completed House of Earth and Blood, the first Crescent City novel, so we are back in the Sarah J Maas-averse.
Oh man, that was what a book.
I know, Jesus Christ.
She thick.
Yep.
With at least two C's.
At least two.
Yeah.
Well, Crescent City. Crescent City.
Okay, and welcome to the last. It's already over.
That's funny.
No, it is. I'm actually surprised by how much we all like this too, because for context, just in case you have not been following along with the podcast, we have gone through the entire Throne of Glass series. We have gone through all of ACOTAR before, but that was before we actually even had a podcast. That was kind of the whole inspiration for this moment in general. Planning on doing a reread soon, so look out for that. But this is really our final foray into the Sarah J Maas world until we get some more books in ACOTAR or Throne of Glass, I guess. But you know, it was different. It was a little intimidating to get into. I didn't think we were going to like it as much as or at least what I think our general impression is.
Oh my God, I love this book so much.
So wait. Whenever we finish all three Crescent City books, are we going to be masters?
I'm more of a sub, personally.
Of the universe?
I prefer masochist.
Oh, yeah. Masochist.
Rip my heart out, Sarah. Do it. Stomp on it.
Yes. Honestly, yes. I'd pay her so much money to do it. And I have.
I love this one so much. And I feel like it's probably my age. But I really liked it. And I'm so sorry for everyone who disagrees and who's going to be really offended by what I have to say. I liked it way more than Throne of Glass. Ooh.
What about ACOTAR?
Oh, no, hold on. The Throne of Glass book or the Throne of Glass series? These two very different experiences.
Okay, I very much enjoyed almost everything about this book. And it took me a long time to really get into Throne of Glass. So I have a feeling that between now and book 3, I'm going to like this one more than the whole series of Throne of Glass.
Sure.
Now, ACOTAR, I don't know. I feel like I just need to reread to really figure that out, but it's close. At this point, it's close.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what's so different about this one, too, is we are getting an older main character. Not older in the grand scheme of things, right? But old for fantasy romance novels' sake. We usually get teenagers.
Not a teenager.
Yes, we get 23 and then we skip forward to 25 and we're moving along. So it's nice to have someone as older and also a different body type. Just a different type of character than we've really ever seen in our journey. Yeah, like I'm happy to actually see like Sarah J Maas is like stepping out of that like comfort zone, really. I mean, she had these 2 long existing series and had diversity in those series, but at the same time making your main character something we've been asking for in this podcast for so long, right? Give me different body types.
Right.
Give me different ages. Please don't make me read about a 19-year-old ever again. Please, bro. Please. And we find this over and over again because we're constantly reading more and more of this genre.
Yeah. Bryce is my favorite, hands down. And to be quite honest with you, again, this is a little shocking even to me, but now that I've read the whole book, I like her more than Feyre. And I like her more than Selena.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
and
Bryce
I feel
is
like
my favorite.
When we read Throne of Glass and we read ACOTAR, you did complain about it. There's like this whininess. There's like this, yeah.
I hate the whiny.
Yeah. Bryce is definitely... She handles her own shit. Is it always the most healthy way? No. No, not at all. But yeah, I love her, how she moves throughout the world. And I'm happy with, I'm not sure if this is a big deal for you guys, but personally for me, I had a big aversion going into Crescent City because I had a big mental block over the whole like modern day, like this city and the texting and this. Like I love a high fantasy moment. I love that type of energy. But I was surprisingly not against it. Yeah, you know what? Once I opened my mind to it a little bit and saw how it played out and how some of these like modern conveniences were part of the plot, like her going to like get information from somebody or she's like getting her nails done and stuff. The way that they melded the world and these characters, I really loved, especially with how diverse, like, there's so many different types of people and creatures and different things. It's so good. So she got me. Sarah, I doubted you and I shouldn't have done it. I do it every time and you never disappoint me.
Every fucking time.
I think I was mostly concerned about how everybody was saying that the lore in the world building was overwhelming. And I think it was. There was a lot to keep track of.
But only for like the first little bit though.
I agree.
And here's the thing is, I don't know how she could have done it any different. I was thinking about that. It's like, well, how would I have preferred her to do it? And I don't think there was a better answer. I think it's one of those you just got to power through. I would still like a pronunciation guide.
We abbreviate everything.
I would still have liked a map of the world, or at least the continent that we were on, in addition to the map of the city. I found myself wishing I had that several times. I did enjoy the map of the city, and I liked the houses breakdown. I looked at that several times. I wish almost there was a companion piece to the Massiverse.
Like a lore Bible.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
That would be very, very good for each of for all of the realms that she's got. Because I'm like, I'm having trouble keeping track of all this stuff, especially across 3 books that I know at some point intertwine in some fashion. So it's, that would be my piece, is just wishing that I had some kind of encyclopedia.
See,
maybe a Massopedia.
Oh my God. See, I think they will do a lore Bible eventually, but I think because of how early on the Crescent City series is, with it just now, like, maybe less than a month ago getting its 3rd book, with how many plot moments and little references tie into like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, I think that they don't want to expose themselves too soon, I guess. Sarah J Maas, she's cooking something up. She's putting things in here. She's cooking, but I don't think she can really realistically put out a lore Bible type of thing until those stories kind of come to fruition.
Their natural conclusions.
Yeah, exactly. Because I marked a bunch of different references. We don't have to go too deep into any of these.
I did too.
But yeah, there's a lot of references to Throne of Glass, and I didn't catch as many to ACOTAR, but I did catch some. That I wanted to talk about.
I did.
What went to Throne of Glass?
The Walking Dead book, for example, is referenced. And that is the book that Aelin uses to learn word marks and stuff.
Honest
Plus,
God, don't
the three-faced goddess. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that too. Don't judge me. But whenever they were talking about the Walking Dead book, I tagged it. The only thing that I could think about was Priest.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to go to the show and I was like, okay, yeah, no, pretty obvious call. Oh, Priest. Right.
Because their thing was The Walking Dead.
Yeah, he was always on The Walking Dead Reddit. That one.
So whenever I saw it, I was like, what? I don't pretend to understand the things that my brain does. I'm just along for the ride.
Hey, man. I mean, it's valid. It's not like that wasn't part of Priest. But yeah, the three-faced goddess is another call out that's big and tied into the witches and their whole lore.
Yeah.
One I didn't catch that I was going through my notes before we hopped onto the episode is the Book of Breathings. I didn't remember it too well. We're actually about to do an ACOTAR reread, so this is something that's interesting. But that was the book that was supposedly able to nullify the cauldron. And that's in the bookshop that Bryce is like working in, or the library, that like inner area.
What happened to that? I thought they like destroyed it.
Yeah, I have questions.
Then she
Sarah.
moved it.
Yeah.
She just said she moved it.
Yeah. There's also like coins of pure iron. Part of me is like, is this an ACOTAR thing? Is this? And what's fun too is I want to see how much Elaine fits into this universe, because on page, I think it's 376, it mentions part of the witches and their unique abilities and their powers, and it mentions seers specifically. And I was like,
I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, and it's such a sweet moment where Azrael is like really ironically enough, the only one to see her and what she's going through is not like a mental breakdown, that she actually like has this thing that is an actual skill and ability. It's just interesting that it's tied to witches in Crescent City, and I want to know how that plays out. But I'm sure there's many more that all the listeners now are going to be like, oh my God, I got this and I got this and I got this.
Oh my God, I love it.
You know?
What I wanted to know is at the very start of chapter 14, where Autumn King is in his study and he's like looking through planets and moons and shit. And he'd asked, it says, page 153, talking about Rune. He'd asked only once about what his father was looking for exactly. Patterns was all his father said.
Mm-hmm.
Patterns of what? And I wonder if that's, it gave me Reese, honestly, because wasn't Reese in the last book when they made their house, they were talking about the things that he has inside of his study, and he has a thing of the planets.
Mm.
So I'm wondering if he knows about how they can walk worlds.
That would be interesting, especially because
that's cool.
I don't remember this from the text exactly, because I didn't draw a Reese conclusion from that scene, though that makes a lot of sense when you say it. What I was kind of drawing a connection to with him is Dorian's dad, because I don't think that Autumn King in this book is ever named. It's just Autumn King. And I was like, what are we running into here?
I feel like they did say his name like once, but nobody calls him by his name.
Yeah, I have a couple pins where it shows like the Autumn King and it's like capitalized sometimes. And I'm like, what does that mean? Again, Sarah, I'm going to figure you out. You just keep writing those books, babe.
I feel like that meme from the guy in Sherlock where he's got all the papers on the wall.
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
Sarah
he's
trying
got,
to
like all
plot
the
these
strings
books.
going everywhere.
Do you know, I also was thinking the Autumn King reminded me a lot of, in ACOTAR, Lucian's dad.
That whole bloodline, It's interesting.
Well, I was just going to say too, Selena's power was also of light.
What?
Wasn't it fire and water?
Fire. Well, yeah, she had a little bit of water, but a lot of the things, every time they talked about, remember whenever the castle exploded or whatever, and they were talking about how she gained her powers, or light was part of it. Like she exploded light and she sucked light, like it was sunshine was one of her power sources.
No,
I took that as like fire from the sun, like fire from that. Maybe, I mean, light could be an interesting implication, though. Obviously, it holds a theme in Sarah's work, obviously. She's always like starlight, star eater, the light that is not light. Okay, what the fuck does that mean, Sarah?
Well, and the Fire King has the fire power. And that's like their bloodline thing is fire.
Yeah, but his two children also have that starlight thing. A lot to think about.
It's making my head hurt.
I'm sure as we get farther into the series and watch, we'll go through our ACOTAR reread and be like, oh, I fucking noticed this and this and this. Oh my God. Like, it's just going to be one never ending cycle. But
you know what I noticed most in this book?
What's that?
She runs in heels constantly.
She loves it.
Like fucking everywhere. This woman runs in heels. And I'm just like, no, my weak ankles, no,
Dude,
ma'am.
If I'm half Fae, you better fucking bet I'm running around in some shit like that for no reason. My God.
I love it at work. It's very power play. But that does not mean you gotta go fucking running in it, man. Like, take them off.
She's got to run from her problems.
But
what
not
can I say?
In fucking heels.
Yes, she can. Do you guys have, obviously this is, quite the sizable story, considering we read, almost 800 pages. Is there any way you can pinpoint a couple of favorite parts or least favorites?
I have one.
Yes.
I'm not sure if we want to talk about it right off the bat, though, because it's the end of the book.
Yeah, by all means.
All right. My hands down most favorite moment out of fucking everything. I pinned it. Page 710. Talking about, this is after Micah gets got.
God bless.
But she ran the vacuum Oh, yeah. To erase the last trace of Micah from the world.
Dude,
I was like, oh my God, my fucking queen.
She was such a badass with that. I tagged that too because I was like, damn, I want to be like that when I grow up.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love that. That's actually what I have as my favorite part too, is basically like that whole scene, like how she played it of like, here's who I'm contacting, put cameras on, the whole fight with Micah, like basically starting around like page like 682. Even how the antidote came back into play in that scene too. I mean, oh my God, Sarah J Maas, she said, I'm not leaving a thread behind, baby. It's all here. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like how cool. And like her love for her like animals and her friends. And it's just such a telling moment of who Bryce is and her priorities. And she's fucking smart. And everyone under fucking minds her, dude. She's so smart. I love her. So that I really liked. I had that as my favorite. And it's a smaller moment, but I really like the plot reveal about Bryce's tattoo. And it being like the horn itself, and like Danica like thinking this far ahead into the future almost, and like and how interesting the implications for that are in general. But it was a plot twist I did not see coming, because Sarah has a good way of putting something into a story that like there are things we pick up on, and I think some are more obvious than others, right? But there's things like that she'll put into a story, and it's made a couple references a few times, and you're like, okay, well, clearly that's not it. That doesn't make sense. And then boom, plot reveal. The thing you didn't think about for 400 pages, it's right fucking here, bitch. And I'm like, Sarah, I am fed. But all of that was so fun. And it's so rewarding, because at the end of that book, too, I'm just thinking like, because we all know the Sarah J Maas effect. We talk about it all online. The like last 100 pages of a Sarah J Maas novel are fucking insane. We know that. I was really kind of worried going into it. I was like, I wonder if this is more like a cliffhanger type situation, because there were so many loose ends that I was like, you cannot fucking, there are way too many things you cannot.
Oh, well, never mind, she did.
And she said, actually, yes, I fucking did. Bow on top, bitch. And I'm like, damn, you did it. You fucking did it. So what a satisfying ending.
Disagree.
What?
Disagree. She did not wrap everything up.
Okay. No, I've got some questions. I've got some unanswered questions. But I guess stuff along the lines of like Hunt's freedom, and like there were just certain things that I was like, there's no way you're going to get that done in this book. There's no way you're going to get that done. You know?
I mean, I'm still waiting for the fucking sex scene. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a couple pages left, and they're like kind of getting into it. Are we going to end on one of those? That I was thinking, I was like, shit, Sarah, don't fucking leave me hanging. Yep. And then it was the phone, and I was like, motherfucker.
The last sentence.
That's probably exactly what they were thinking.
Yes, the last sentence is just like, so Hunt did. like in Throne of Glass is so Lorcan did, or whatever. Oh my God. Sarah!
Okay, I have a question. What do you guys think this Arcesian charm thing is all about? You think it's a word, Mark?
It is related to priestesses. I have something here that was talking about the amulet in and of itself, and how it was worn by people protecting, I believe they said Parthos? I fucking
gave me overpriced jewelry.
Yeah, true. It gave me one of two different vibes. Because it's described as these three circles, it gave me like the three-faced goddess energy. Do I know how that plays out? No. But it kind of gave me that energy. Or with this specific priestess thing, it also gave me the people in the library that Reese like helps sets up in Valeris.
Oh.
So something along those lines, I would believe.
That's cool.
But I can't confirm or deny.
Think about that.
Could be interesting. What about least favorite scenes?
I don't think I pinned anything that I didn't like. I mean, except for the whole running with the shoes thing.
Sure. Less heels next time. Got it.
No, like it's just a pet peeve of mine.
Sure.
As somebody with incredibly weak ankles.
Of course.
I love the healer scene. No, there is something I absolutely hate.
Go on. I need to hear it.
Thing that I absolutely cannot stand, and it drives me up the fucking wall every time it happens, which is all the goddamn time, is dude has a name. Dude has a fucking name, and they call him Hunt.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, no, his name is not Hunt. That's not his name. He was called that by people he didn't like because Orion, which was the hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call him that anymore. Like, no, he's not like that. Give him his fucking name back.
See, I almost feel like, hear me out. I feel like that's deliberate on a few counts. I think, again, Sarah, I don't know. I don't know you, girl. But at the same time, Orion, obviously related to stars, constellations, the whole thing. This whole starlight power is a thing. And I'm honestly still thinking this ties into the unanswered questions a little bit later. Around page 326, this is when Hunt is talking to the Oracle. And it like they call him by his actual name. And they mention stay away from Bryce Quinlan. And I'm like, why though? Like, what does that mean? There's just too much elements of starlight, star eaters, stars, and power in that way that for them to name someone such like a Orion thing, like to have that be so present, I almost feel like Sarah wants us to forget about that for now.
Okay,
well,
but what
I hated it.
Yeah, fair.
When talking about that specific section, on page 326, the Oracle had said, "You remind me of that which was lost long ago. I had not realized it might ever appear again." But then we don't get anything else.
Right. What is that? What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, and keep
His
well away from
lightning
Bryce
rose
Quinlan.
within him. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's got to be something that's answered in either Crescent City 2 or 3 because, oh my god.
I want to know so bad.
You remind me of that which was lost long ago. The only thing, I mean, I don't know how it ties in, but there is a scene where later on when they're talking to the Prince of the Chasm, Adis? I don't know how we're pronouncing that.
Adius?
Adius?
What I was saying in my head.
I was probably reading it like
the Prince of the Chasm. There's a sentence I tagged where he goes, "What are you doing with like a black crown on your forehead or whatever?" And Hunt was like confused. He's like, obviously this to him is like a mark of ownership of this is a mark of, this is not a positive thing or not even just something just to have it referred to as a crown. He has this like reaction to. So I'm like, is the Oracle talking about like Vogue princes? Are they talking about something else? Like,
I did think that Hell was like because they talked about him being princes in circles, and I was like, that sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just went with Dante's Infernal.
I
mean, was like, oh yeah.
God
Circles
bless.
of Hell. Yeah, I went full like 10th grade English.
I'm really into that. Like that whole like I want more of those scenes. I want more Hell. I want more of the princes and stuff because why is that one particular is so interested in her? There's a scene that I tagged page 472 and he's telling Bryce make the drop and then find me when you do.
Find me.
For what? Yeah. What do you mean by that?
City too. What do you mean? The epilogue even kind of alludes to there being more going on with that.
Yes.
And how him and Jessica were in cahoots in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jessica, I don't know what her deal is, but there's something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but there's something.
Yeah, there's something going on there for sure.
And it's like, it's going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
A big one. Mm-hmm. She's going to be important because I called bullshit on a boss just like giving her that hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like what?
Have all of the money.
Yeah.
And she lets her get away with so much shit. And she's like, she reminds me of like the cranky grandfather trope.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it.
But like, sorceress and stuff. Because I also imagine her kind of in her like late 40s.
Yeah, I imagine her around the same. But there's definitely going to be more to say with her. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some plot reveal about how, it's probably not an accident that Bryce got that job. I know Bryce said she was looking for jobs and that's the only one or like whatever. And then Danica this and blah, blah, blah. There had to be something more there that was happening.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait till we figure out why she went over to the dead people. She changed clubs, houses, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, her allegiance.
Wait, what?
She was supposed to be yeah, one of the other houses, and then
And
had
now
that
she
switch.
sold the dead guy one.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. It's got to be a book 2 and 3 thing. But I'm very curious to see where those go. But yeah, as far as late favorite scenes, not really much to pinpoint. I really had a good time, like, overall with this book. I mean, maybe least favorite, like, why is there no sex scene? But, like, Hunt can describe sucking on all of Bryce's toes. I got nothing against feet.
So I have that marked because I was going to bring it up.
Me too. I was like, he's just thinking about plopping one of those bad boys in his mouth. I'm like, oh, okay. Are we getting sex in this book? And Sarah J Maas is like, no, bitch. Read 800 pages and you're going to love it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm starting to feel like she's got something with toes and feet. Sarah J Maas.
Something is happening with feet in this book.
Something's going on.
They're strangely intimate. Every time. Sarah, tell me the truth. You got a thing for feet or what?
She did describe Bryce's thighs as unnervingly perfect.
I do like that description of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more like, how have there been so many characters in so many different of your series that, like, why am I getting so many feet scenes? Because I'm not against them. But you're going to make me read 800 pages. And he's not even actually sucking on her toes. He's just thinking about how he wants to.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm like,
exactly.
Okay, Sarah. I mean, I'm here for the plot. Don't get me wrong. Are they going to be fucking? I need to know if those wings are as sensitive as I think they are, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Write that down, Sarah.
So I think I did not really have a lot of least favorite scenes.
Mhm.
There were some things that were kind of difficult to get through, but that's just because I identified with her so much. But I
Right.
got to tell you, rip my fucking heart out, Sarah. Like, gosh, with Lahaba was saying that, like, then let the world know that my first act of freedom was to help my friends. And she started chanting the challenge and prayer that my friends are with me and I am not afraid. Oh my God, I was crying. I was bawling my
Mhm.
eyes out
Yeah.
and that was intense. I also, right after that, when she was saying her goodbyes, that also got me.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, I think, which is very predictable, but my all-time favorite part was when Danica came over the gate.
Oh my God.
Oh my
And
God.
I was weeping. I was absolutely useless.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's the
When I
definition of that
realized-
audio that's like, you came, you called. Like, oh, bro.
Exactly. And when I realized that she gave up the last little bit of her soul so she could make the ascent, I was crying.
Mhm.
Crying.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, like I would do that for either one of you.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
it
Yeah.
ripped my heart out and made me just think like, I want to call them because I love them.
Yeah.
It's 3:00 in the morning.
But when she
Yeah.
was talking to Danica and like if you have ever lost someone that was really close to you, that conversation with her and Danica when she's at her core, that's exactly what I would imagine being able to see them is like. Just wanting to be like, I don't want to go through any more pain. Like, I'm so tired. I'm just so exhausted of having to do this, and I'm just so miserable, and I just want to stay here with you, even if it's just this small piece of you.
Mhm.
That's enough
Yeah.
for me because my life has been meaningless without you. And I loved that so much. And it was a perfect scenario for Danica to lead her down and then for Hunt to bring her up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. It was so good. Everything about their friendship and how it's described, like, oh my God. Just the non-judgment and the love and like, you could just still feel echoes of it no matter where they are. And just like, even Bryce making sure, she's like, this boat will not fucking sink. I don't care what I have to give up in the afterlife. I do not care. Oh God, their love for each other is so fucking sweet. And it was perfect to have her there because there's no one else that could have done it.
There was
Even
no
Hunt.
one else.
No, there's no one else that could have been there
No.
except for that
Yeah.
little part of her left. Ugh.
I agreed. I wasn't sure how they were gonna how she was going to make it all work, but then she did, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Sarah knows how to write a friendship and a love connection. She knows how to write that.
And then for them to be all waving at her at the gate, but then knowing that Danica wasn't there, and then that's whenever they tell you that Danica gave up what was left of her soul for that. Shit.
That broke
so those
my
were my
heart.
those were my favorite parts. I did have other ones that were funny, but it's mostly just sarcasm and silliness.
God, I love sarcasm.
I mean, we
like
love
the banter in here is so good.
Like at the very end where she was like, page 785, where they're having this like moment and they were talking about her new power. And somebody's like, what are you going to do with it? She goes, open a chain of beach themed restaurants.
Oh my God, dude.
Like, that's hilarious. I love that. And those are speckled throughout. And those were always a good laugh. And I really enjoyed that.
There were cute little moments that I liked. Like, I picked up on when Bryce is taking care of Hunt when he comes home to the apartment after being, very traumatized from having to commit crimes. And she's washing his hair with lavender foggy shit, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, Sarah, stop this right now. Stop. Like, dude. So many
I didn't
good
even
moments.
make that connection.
Yeah, I was like, what do you have with lavender, Sarah? Why are you hurting me
Well,
like
isn't
this?
that the same thing that Selena had with
that she
what's
wouldn't
his
let
name?
Sam
Yeah.
wear? She didn't like it when he used her expensive soaps. And how his body still smelled like the cheap soap when he fucking died. Oh, okay. And we don't need to go down that horrifying, sad route. Yeah. What about surprises? There's a lot of twists.
Oh, there's so fucking many.
Yeah. I was shook by we were just getting in. We're like, okay, I've read the first 100 pages. A lot of info, a lot of stuff I'm not entirely absorbing, but like Bryce and Danica and this, like I'm loving the group, I'm loving the gang. Okay, there's this little romance happening. Yay, like fun. Murder. I'm like, Sarah, what do you mean? Sarah, please, bro, what do you mean? And then immediately murder.
I remember I had started reading this before either of you, and I had gotten right past the murder part.
Yeah.
And you guys started, and you were like, I remember being on the phone with you, Cuddle, and you were like, oh my God, I love Danica. And I was like, oh, yeah. You were like, yeah, she's going to be my favorite. I wonder if they're going to do this or this. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Just get back to the book.
Go ahead and keep reading. You're almost there.
Keep reading.
Yeah.
And then I think you texted me whenever you got to that part, and you were upset. You were like, motherfucker.
I was upset too.
I was like, yeah, there you go.
Like, I didn't care about the romance part as much, but I really liked like their relationship and Danica and just like, the friendship. Even how she's described in her hair and this like opalescent, like, she's so beautiful. And this, and then boom, she's mush. Everyone you've ever loved, Bryce, they're mush. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. Immediately.
Did you guys see it coming with Micah?
That
he had done all those things? I didn't either.
No.
And I kind of pride myself on being able to like see things. Like I called the gates immediately when I figured out what they did. I was like, okay, so that's endgame. This is yep.
Yeah.
And I kind of saw that coming, and I tagged 1,000 times all of the Starlight stuff. And I'm like, I see the hints. Okay, I get it. She's the thing. But then with that, I had no fucking clue, and I was blindsided. I'm just sitting there with my mouth open, reading, looking like an idiot.
Catching flies.
Yeah, it was a big plot reveal. I think a lot of that is because we don't know that it's him for a long time until Hunt eventually slips up and is like, oh, by the way, that was him. And Bryce is like, huh? Pardon?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, like it's hidden from us for a long time. We're just getting thrown into this world. We're 100 pages in. We kind of know a little, but not much. Now everyone's dead. Now she's running into an alley. Things are happening. There's a person attack. She's helping them. I'm like, okay, foundation of who Bryce is. Okay, I love this story. Amazing. And then boom, Sarah's like, 600 page later, remember him? I mean, he appeared more than that, but like, you know what I'm saying?
No, he didn't appear at all.
He just popped right back up at the end.
Just
and it's like, it was me. But yeah, I was surprised because, we've read a couple of her series now, and I just feel like there have been books where not that I want my favorite characters to fucking die or anything, but it has seemed like in the past that Sarah's like pulled some punches and been like, everyone's gonna end up happy here, or this person's gonna die, but don't worry, they come back. And I'm like, hell yeah, Sarah. And I feel like she probably got critique about that, like especially with like the Throne of Glass series. I could see people having like complaints about war and this, and maybe not enough of a substantial stake or something like that. And then she's like, oh, okay. All right. Well, what if I introduce you to 9 wonderful people and then I kill them immediately? And you're like, oh, great. Okay, so just starting off strong. Great.
I had to double check the title. I was like, am I reading Game of Thrones?
Yeah, she just got him real quick. And then La Hobbit too. I'm like, bro, slow down, Sarah, please.
Yeah. I saw that one coming though. I thought there was going to be a miniature redemption arc for her.
Yeah, it broke my heart that like she knew she was free in that time too. But it's okay, Sarah. I love it. I'm a masochist. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
So good.
Oh my goodness.
The burning means it's working.
What about favorite characters? I mean, we obviously loved a lot of people down this journey.
I loved everybody who was sassy.
Yeah.
If you get some sassy pants on and you want to throw some real good banter around, I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah, sure.
I think Bryce is my favorite character, but I definitely enjoyed a lot of the other ones. Lahaba, hilarious. I loved her.
A queen.
She is fucking amazing little fire sprite. Hunt kind of grew on me. Sure. And then I was devastated because I also was not ready for him to be like buying drugs. So I was
angry.
So mad. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Actually, when later on I went to my husband, I was with him and we were just in a lull in our conversation. And I was like, so do you want to like talk about how my book boyfriend and I are fighting?
And he's like,
he was like,
this is
no, not really.
Goofy.
I was so pissed off that he did that.
Yeah. What a fucking, I was pissed. I was in denial. I was like, is it like sword shape? This? No. Okay. No, it's just him being him right now. Hate that. Please stop. Yeah, I like Hunt a lot though. He grew on me too. It started off rough because of the dynamic between him and Bryce and everything. But I think he really became something special toward the end. He's still not like, in my heart of hearts, my Sarah J Maas boys. I mean, Rowan's up there, Reese is up there. He doesn't make like the top 10 or no, I guess to make top 10, I guess. But no, he's not in the top 5. You know what I mean? Like he's up there and he has room to move. But I love Bryce. But my like cop out is like, can I just like pick like Bryce and Danica's friendship again for a character? Because it almost is like this feeling of this book, like, oh dude, page fucking 486. When Bryce says, I know people don't get it. It's just a light went out inside me when it happened. Danica wasn't my sister or my lover, but she was the one person I could be myself around, never feel judged. The one person I knew would always pick up the phone or call me back. She was the one person that made me feel brave because no matter what happened, no matter how bad or embarrassing or shitty it was, I knew that I had her in my corner. That if it all went to hell, I could talk to her and it would be fine. That makes me so emotional, bro. Oh, it makes me so emotional. I'm like, Danica, I love you. Even though you be like moving around and being all secretive and stuff, like, queen. I'm still thinking about you hundreds of pages later. Maybe she's one of my favorites.
I really started to think like Danica was a bad guy.
Really?
Whenever they started going through and revealing all this stuff and the shady shit that she was doing.
You have trauma from Nehemia.
I really do.
Like, you must have.
You do.
I never doubted Danica. Like
I did.
Was like,
no. I was starting to doubt.
I was doubting.
I was, yeah.
Really? Whoa.
I was starting to doubt. I was starting to be like, whoa. Because I'm kind of in denial. Like, I'm like, oh, like with Hunt, I'm like, that's not him. That's not him doing this. He's not on the dog. He's not doing that.
I was still a little in denial in that. Like, no, there's got to be something. Like, no, he wouldn't do. No.
Surprise.
But no, he actually did. And
Yeah. But yeah, I had a moment where I was like starting to doubt her and like all of that. But I mean, they brought it full circle right back to me loving and trusting and just thinking she's the fucking bee's knees. So
Okay, so here's what I want to say about that.
okay.
There were definitely like let's just put Hunt on the back burner for a minute.
Sure.
I just imagine that there were no fated mates.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you have rather read the scenes for? Bryce with Connor or Bryce with Therian?
Mm-hmm.
I think Therian would have been.
What if I pick
I wanted
Hypaxia?
Connor. No.
Here's my thing. I think Hypaxia and Therian are going to be a couple.
What?
I could see it.
There's a moment, page 668.
You already got the number.
You damn right I did. As I was like, because I don't know about this Rune and her thing. I feel like I would have had more tension by now.
Well, she was completely uninterested.
Yeah,
she's like,
it didn't seem
no,
like
thank you.
it.
Okay, thanks, bye.
But there's a part, and it's at the bottom of 668. And this is when they're arguing about that canal and the supply lines and how detrimental it is to their waterways and the environment, and how they're making eye contact. So she's looking at Therian, and then he gives her this secret smile and this gratitude. What I don't understand, what I pinned exactly, was the mermail just casually lifted his paper, flashing what looked like about 20 rows of markings, counting something, and her eyes widened, bright with reproach and disbelief. And then he lowers it, and then a flush creeps over her cheeks. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? What do you mean?
Absolutely no idea.
What do you mean by that? Are y'all gonna be fucking? What's the 20? What are these 20 marks for? What do you mean by that? So I actually feel like they would be a thing. I really don't want Bryce with anyone else, but at the same time, like, I do think, like, I'd probably rather read it with, like, Azriel. Maybe I just want Azriel.
You just want Azriel.
Maybe I just want Azriel, actually. Maybe that's my problem.
Was I kind of reading too much into it, or was Adius the Prince of Hell kind of a little like,
yeah,
right?
I liked that too. I was like, are they gonna fucking Sarah? She always is like, let me put this love interest here. Is it the right one? Probably not, because it's the first one, and that one's never right. And you're like, fine, I guess. But with Hunt, I was like, okay, like they're doing their thing. But yeah, like the come and find me and this. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping for a little tension.
That's what I'm saying. And then whenever her and Therian, and he called her legs, of course
he does, right?
And he was talking about his abs and stuff, and he was flirting, and she was flirting back, and I was like, okay, I could do it. I could dig it. And then you had Connor, and I was just like, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy, the whole time. I kind of almost would like to have a book by Sarah J Maas where you have a promiscuous person who is like in not a toxic way, but they just have flings. I wonder what that would be like.
Sure.
I just want someone to have flings with all of the people that I want them to have flings with, and have it be totally okay.
Have to choose
our favorite genre.
Damn it.
Dude, hear me out, dude. If they make a wide choose with Azriel and Lucian, god damn. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine the three-way?
The sunrise and the night and Elaine? Oh my god. The symbolism, dude?
I guess she would know who would come first.
Oh.
Oh.
Goofy.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, not sorry.
So more things that I have questions about. Page 4.
Why did it end?
I know.
Page 645, where Rune was again talking about how the royal bloodline would end with him. In general, what in the hell do we think that means? Because I've been trying to figure it out. I was like, is that maybe because like they're gonna end the royalty? Is like that it? Is it a play on words where they're gonna unite Fae and shit, and their royal something will become a new kingdom or something like that? Then maybe that's it, and it's just the royalty part that's gone. Because I don't believe that Bryce and him are like gonna die like that. I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah.
Maybe they just won't have babies.
The royal line ends with you. Maybe they'll have like this moment of, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I feel about the father yet, because the implications with Bryce's power levels and how it is slightly above his, and how we've seen that play out in worlds like ACOTAR. Like, is there a world where like Ruin kills his own father?
The pettiness of Sarah to give her like 0.0843% higher power.
Slay.
I was like, oh, how about that? That's a little funny. That's so funny right there.
Yeah, and he was mad as hell.
It was.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I could see that being some implication. Yeah, maybe there's a transferring over of a line, because I don't think Ruin will die either. I don't know. I like him. I hope he doesn't, at least. That's my boy. I want to see him in romance scenes.
Careful. I felt real attached to Connor awful fucking quick.
Didn't we all? Fucking Sarah.
Yeah.
Back at it again.
Sam.
I forgot all about
Connor's our new Sam.
The first one. Oh, yeah. Connor is my Sam.
Oh,
yeah.
I hate that.
That's gonna make me cry again. Thank you.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's so many scenes with the Oracle that we just like have no like connection with. The thing with Hunt, the message she gave Ruin, the fucking, what do you mean, Oracle? Just say something to me for real, please.
And that's when question. She goes, it screams.
Yes. Yeah. And then, love the implication when that prince was like, I saw what's happening. I'm like, what did you see? What exactly did you see? Because I don't know if I trust all the information you're giving me. But I actually wanted to hear a lot about Fury and Juniper. Them being a couple was fun. That was a fun twist. And
I was so mad at her.
Yeah. Oh, Fury.
Yeah, I was furious.
Wow. I am only going to give her the benefit of the doubt because it does make a reference, because this is one of my unanswered questions. She talks about, because Bryce is, grilling her of like, you abandoned me when I needed you most. Like, my friend fucking died and you ghosted me. Like, that's crazy. Like, that was our friend, bro. And Fury, responds like, that Juniper is like her heart. She can't fucking, she would, if she stops talking to her, her heart stops beating type shit. And then she talks about how her life and things around her have been more fucked up than you know. What do you mean by that? What have you seen?
Okay, well, I see your question and I raise you a thought.
Okay.
Fury in looks and attitude and for some reason reverence reminds me of Amryn.
Oh.
So what's that
That's a good point.
I don't know.
And why does everybody know her? And why does everybody respect her? And why is everybody scared of her in the same way that Amryn was thought of?
Right.
That's a good point.
And wasn't Amryn an angel?
What is Fury? What is she saying?
Amryn was an angel.
Yeah, from a different world.
This world? Somewhere. Northern Rift?
Yeah.
Wherever the fuck that is, Sarah? Northern? She said, no map of the world. You can't see
that.
City, though.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it was strategic.
Yeah.
Quick, grab the second book and see if there's one in there.
It's in the other side of the house.
Oh, no.
It's actually still in the box that I ordered it from Amazon, so that we wouldn't read it too quickly.
Oh, my gosh.
I am very curious about that. I loved Rune.
Oh. And why does he look like Reese? Why has he got a lot of Reese features? What's going on there?
I don't know. I like the punk rocker look. I
thought he was more Azriel.
Yes. He looks like Reese, but with blue eyes, which gives me Feyre energy.
But he's more like, wait, which one had the shadows? That was Azriel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he also has that light and stuff too.
Yeah, but Azriel has the shadows and he has the shadows. The light would be like, I don't know.
The drop of water.
Elaine has children, okay? She has one child with Azriel. She has one child with Lucian, okay?
Because
that bloodline continues, okay? We get one Bryce, we get one Rune, okay? I don't know where these paths merge, but something happens.
Are we suggesting that ACOTAR is the ancestors of Crescent City?
I think it's possible. I think taking into account Crescent City being modern.
Or is Throne of Glass the ancestors?
I thought Throne of Glass was before ACOTAR, and then ACOTAR is before Crescent City.
That's kind of what I'm picturing in my head, just because, like, the references to the coins made of pure iron from a long lost fae, blah blah blah, across the ocean. That just gave me very like ACOTAR energy, and their like how much they focus on that element and whatnot. So I would assume that they are also in the past in some way. I kind of picture it. I don't really know yet, but I kind of picture it. It might be something like this, like with stacks of worlds,
layers,
or it might be something like this, where there's a little crossover. I'm not sure.
Mm.
You know, like stacked, but like connected in like a
Well, we
path.
did see
a pattern, if you will.
Sarah and Reese were already together on the mountain when Selena dropped through the world.
Right.
Right, but she can go through time and space.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so here's my other question. In the same vein, the speak in your head shit.
Mm-hmm.
In ACOTAR, wasn't that a demonic-y thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
Which he also
specifically
has.
stated here in that it's a race of its own, right? Or a species or whatever you want to say.
But Rune has it too, right?
He does, which is, he said he got it from his mom. And we don't talk about Rune's mom at all.
Never
by the
heard
way.
of her.
I have so many questions about what that means and
Sarah.
what that means for Reese.
Mm-hmm.
Are Reese and Rune related?
Is there an alternate universe where Reese's like sister is like alive somewhere?
Whoa.
Ah. Is there a world where she's out there and they
Would
can reconnect
Reese's
one
sister
day?
actually be Rune's mom?
I don't know. Or at least like part of her bloodline. Like maybe she lived on in a different world somehow. I don't know. But that would be cool.
They do say in Throne of Glass that they can't talk about what happens after, but there's many other people.
Yeah, I almost wonder. We're
Do you
probably
just
going to
go
see
to a
more of
different
that
place?
afterlife at some point because I need answers.
It's rolling. The bone quarter was rolling green. And that kind of reminds me of the world that the gods went to in Throne of Glass. And didn't she dump a bunch of shit on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. As she should. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because we get these little peeks into each world of these overlapping things, and I fucking need to know how they're connected, Sarah.
But here's what I'm gonna have because it's getting so complicated. Whenever they actually pull it all out, I'm gonna need Sarah to spell it out for me.
1 hour long interview. Tell me everything.
No. It's going to take
timeline.
more than 1 hour.
I'll listen. I'll pay $50 to listen.
She's got to make a YouTube series.
Yeah, honestly.
With charts, and I want
PowerPoint
in the presentation.
Right. I want that too.
I think Aelin and Bryce would be fast fucking friends.
They would be destructive friends.
I love that though.
They would burn the world down.
Mm-hmm.
It would be glorious and very, very short.
And very, very short. Right. Oh my God.
That friendship would burn the brightest and fizzle out very, very quickly.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm not even like that mad at Micah, to be honest. Although I will say, when we got to that scene, right? I thought we were going to get rapey. That's the vibe I was hearing or like picking up. I was like, oh my God, is he like going to rape her on camera in front of all of those people? Is that why? And then everybody was panicking. And I'm like, well, if you're panicking, I want to panic. Is that why? Or is that why we're panicking? Why panic?
Yeah.
I think that's probably something deeper about our society that we equate.
Or our personal traumas. But we're going to leave. We're just going to put a pin in that. Sarah, deal with that when you will.
I would like to know where to send the therapy bills. Sarah, please drop the address.
Probably just write to the publishing company. Let's just see.
Speaking of therapy and rape, What about
Okay, a transition. Right. Go ahead.
Oh,
what about
that's
the
rough.
knock though? And how he was humping the glass?
Oh my
Do you-
god.
You don't remember that?
Yes.
I was like, what the fuck? Like I was imagining clawing at the glass, trying to bite through it or something. No, we hump it. And I was, oh, so we're Kelpie, kind of,
It gave me those vibes with Nesta.
It
for
just
sure.
it made me
it was
made
so
me
funny.
remember a horrible moment from my childhood while we went to the zoo. It was the zoo where they had a walrus.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And I was
Yep.
like, oh, nope. Nope. Repress it.
Oh
Go
my
back.
Gross.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But whenever she goes into the tank and it didn't, eat the chimera, I was like, oh no, I remember the thing. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because I was not worried that it was going to eat her.
Yeah. There's always that threat of violence that could exist, unfortunately. In that sense, with any of our characters, really. Especially what we see in stuff like Nesta's story.
And this is now the third series where she has written in male sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like someone should check on the men in her life.
She's written about women, though, as well, like Nesta.
Nesta. What happened to Nesta?
With, what's his name?
The woodcutter's son.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But he was going to. He didn't actually do it. Not like Reese and Amarantha.
Well, I think that's a different level. You're thinking 50 fucking years.
Yeah, that's...
Or Sandriel and Hunt. Who was it in Throne of Glass? Or who was it in that series? Was Rowan?
For which one?
No, it was the one of the twins, right?
Fenris, right?
Fenris.
Yeah.
That's right.
And she had him eat her out in a puddle of his brother's blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do kind of like
Sarah, stop, bro. Sarah, please.
Yeah.
Please, bro. You cannot keep writing this.
You find out that you're
I wish the men in these books ill at all. However, I do love that Sarah doesn't shy away from it being multiple genders.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
But what I think
that's
is
really good.
Funny is in the back of my head, I just imagine. Have you seen the TikToks of the lady who is the impression of a romance novel, like the novelist holding their characters hostage or whatever?
Yeah, those are funny.
So I can't help but wonder in the back of my head and imagine that you are now a character and you're a male character and you look up and you realize that Sarah J Maas is your author and you're like, wait a minute, this could go a lot of different directions. What's gonna happen?
Yeah,
you get nervous,
bro.
Has she loved someone before?
So you gotta count. You look at your hair. What color hair is it? Is it blonde?
Please, no. Dude, she really puts her male characters through hell. Lucien's like, yeah, I watched my mate fucking die in front of me from my family. She's like, Reese, you have this kind of trauma. You have that. She just, you trauma. You. Everyone gets fucking the worst thing she can imagine.
The Oprah
it's like getting
of
read.
Trauma.
It's like getting read by teenagers.
Okay.
Okay.
Goofy.
No, having all your shit just out there for everybody.
Immediately clocked your biggest insecurities. Immediately. Yeah. Well, Sarah, she does it.
You imagine them all in group therapy?
Oh.
No, because Sarah J Maas would lead it. And then she'd be like, best I could do is eventually I'll write you a happy ending. Give me a couple years, maybe? I guess.
Your wedding is not going to be seen, though.
Oh, yeah. I will never do that.
No,
but I
not.
will describe sexual assault. Will I ever show you a wedding? No, I don't believe in it. And if you have a baby, you might die. That's all I have for you.
It's a 50-50.
It really is. But we love her for it, don't we? I'm excited to reread ACOTAR and just go through it again. And it'll be such a throwback because actually the podcast is almost at 1 year old. It's almost 1 year.
Oh my God, is it really?
Yeah, in March it'll be.
It just feels
our
like
1
a
year.
few weeks old to me.
It's a couple of weeks. But
just like 1 or 2
yeah.
or, more maybe. Now, big question. I have for book 1, I have the dramatized audiobook. Should we do a dramatized audiobook or should we actually like read it with like paper?
I'm going to read it because I want to tag it.
I'm going to read it as
good
well,
point.
but I think if you did the audiobook, that would be really interesting to give us like the perspective of different scenes and stuff. So, but it's up to you.
You have to tell me how the sex scenes go.
Yeah. And so Reese did. Damn it, Sarah. No. Whose turn is it for Bay of the Day?
I feel like we all just have to consensus it out.
Okay.
Oh,
and
that's a first.
I'm just going to put out there Lahaba for me.
Oh, she is such a... But like, Bryce is such a babe.
Yeah.
But also Danica.
Oh.
Danica is, that's the GOAT.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, just Bryce getting that, like, you are a true wolf moment at the end. What the fuck? Bay of the Day. But you know what? Lahaba is gone. She's R.I.P. So maybe I'll concede to that. Because she was a badass babe who liked to watch her silly little shows.
All right. Yeah.
and protect her friends.
Watching porn next to everybody. Just
She's
out
us.
there.
She just likes to watch porn and protect her friends. That's what this podcast is about, really, if you think about it. Can we all not identify with that type of character?
All right. I'll give it to you.
We love her. A fiery babe, if you will.
I was confused as to how big she was because I thought it was like, like toddler. And then they're like, oh, she's out on my finger. And I was like,
little baby.
She's like 6 inches. Yeah,
she's giving me a Tinkerbell.
That.
That's how I like. I mean, I didn't picture her as Tinkerbell, but I picture her like that size, I guess. But I'm going to go ahead and read us out here. Want to thank you guys for listening. This has been Smutty Scriptures reading House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas, the first Crescent City book. We are taking a side step. We're still sticking with Sarah J Maas for a while. We are going to be doing some ACOTAR rereads. So as we're going into our next couple episodes, there might be some spoilers for you if you have not read further parts of the series, but it'll be a good fun time. And of course, we want to thank you guys for checking out all the options that we got for you for Instagram. We got Smutty Scriptures on TikTok. We've got a Patreon now. We're posting extra episodes. And we have tons of behind the scenes content and discounts on all of the merch that these two, Cuddlefish and Purple Space Cat, are designing. And they've been putting a lot of fun into those designs. And yeah, there's a lot for you guys to check out there. If you need more Smutty Scriptures in your life, we got it for you.
And we would love to hear your feedback. We were talking about that before we started recording tonight, and we would love to hear what kinds of things do you like about the show? What's your funniest moment? What's a quote that you remember? Anything at all?
Your bays of the day.
Exactly. We gotta know.
Yeah.
So hit us up on any of the social medias or Discord and come hang out with us.
Yes, please. You can actually come hang out with us while we're doing these recordings live, y'all. Very interesting. Come out, come argue with us. We'll argue in real time. Goofy.
Yes.
Well, with that being said, church is adjourned.
Light it up, bitch. Fire spray.
Oh, light it up, bitch. No.
Oh.
Amen.
All right, now I'm going to go cry now.
R.I.P. my queen.